The Los Angeles Lakers just flipped the script on the entire NBA offseason. In a league that's constantly shifting, where the margin between greatness and irrelevance is razor thin, the Lakers didn't just tinker around the edges. They detonated the blueprint. A blockbuster trade, a pair of high-risk, high-reward signings, a reimagined supporting cast, and, most shocking of all, a Luka Dončić we've never seen before. But here's the question no one can answer yet. Is this the start of a championship rebirth? Or a desperate final swing before the lights go out on the LeBron era? Let's break down the full picture. The Lakers entered the offseason with more questions than answers. After a humbling first-round exit at the hands of the surging Timberwolves, many assumed they'd run it back with minor tweaks. But instead, something changed. What started as radio silence quickly became a calculated, aggressive retooling. This wasn't about buying time. This was a front office making a statement. They're not waiting for the future. They're building it now, with Luka Dončić and LeBron James at the center of it. The first move? Subtle. Jake LaRavia, an underrated wing with a sweet shooting stroke, was added from Sacramento, but it was the calm before the storm, because next came the shockwave. When the Lakers pulled the trigger on a blockbuster trade to acquire Luka Dončić, sending Anthony Davis the other way, it didn't just reshape the team, it redefined the franchise. Dončić wasn't brought in to complement LeBron, he was brought in to replace him, eventually. But Luka's debut in Los Angeles was rocky. The numbers, still elite. 28.2 points, 8.1 rebounds, 7.5 assists. But the eye test told a different story. He looked sluggish, heavy-legged, disconnected from the rhythm that made him so special in Dallas. By Game 5 of the Timberwolves series, he was visibly gassed. The same old critiques resurfaced: conditioning, leadership, defensive engagement. It wasn't the dawn of a new era. It was more of the same. But that's what makes this offseason different, because for the first time in his career, Luka took accountability, and everything changed. No more talk, no more excuses. This summer, Luka Dončić didn't tweak his step back or polish his passing. He went to war with his body. Reports surfaced that he had hired a new training team, overhauled his diet, and committed to a brutal conditioning regimen, long-distance runs, high-intensity intervals, and relentless weight work. The result? Photos began to leak. A noticeably leaner, sharper Luka. The bloated frame, gone. In its place, agility, mobility, and stamina. And for a player whose entire game is built on pace, feel, and manipulation, that's terrifying news for the rest of the league. But the transformation wasn't just physical. Insiders say he's more vocal in practice, more engaged, focused, the kind of leader a team can follow. This isn't just the best shape of his life. This might be the beginning of Luka 2.0. And the Lakers built a roster around that exact version. Enter Marcus Smart. Remember 2022, Defensive Player of the Year. The heart and soul of a finals-bound Celtics team, a ferocious defender who set the tone every single night. That player disappeared, injuries, inconsistent minutes, and a forgettable stint in Washington cast doubt on whether Smart could ever be that guy again. But LA saw something different. In a short 15-game stretch with the Wizards, Smart quietly averaged a career-best 18 points per 36 minutes and shot nearly 40% from deep. Small sample, sure, but the fire was still there. The Lakers didn't hesitate. They signed him to a 2-year deal worth $11 million. A steal if he returns to form. And what's more, he fits like a glove. This team needed a dog, a point-of-attack defender, a locker room voice, someone who would take the toughest perimeter assignment every night and never blink. Smart delivers all of that. And then some. Playing alongside Luka and LeBron means he doesn't have to create. He just has to defend, hit open shots, and lead. If he stays healthy, this might be the most important signing of the summer. But defense wasn't the only hole the Lakers needed to patch. They needed size, and fast. DeAndre Ayton is one of the most polarizing big men in the NBA. Drafted number 1 overall in 2018, he was supposed to anchor a franchise. But things never quite clicked. In Phoenix, he was solid but passive. In Portland, he put up numbers but couldn't lead. So when he became available after a buyout, most teams passed. The Lakers didn't. They saw a 26-year-old 7-footer with elite physical tools, playoff experience, and something to prove. Ayton brings real value: 14.4 points, 10.2 rebounds, and solid rim protection. He's an efficient scorer, finishing over 58% on pick-and-roll plays, and an underrated mid-range shooter, hitting nearly 46% from 15 to 20 feet. But his biggest weapon, he's a vertical lob threat with a 43.5-inch vertical and a 7-foot 6-inch wingspan. In Portland, he caught 51 alley-oops in just 47 games. With Luka and LeBron spoon-feeding him, that number's going way up. Of course, there are red flags: inconsistency, effort, and health. He's missed significant time with ankle, calf, and back issues. But here's the thing: Ayton doesn't need to be a superstar, he just needs to compete. Set hard screens, protect the rim, stay locked in. If he can do that, the Lakers have the most complete starting five they've had in years. You win championships on the margins. And that's where Jake LaRavia and Adu Tiero come in. LaRavia isn't a household name, but he's the kind of player every contending team needs. A smart, switchable defender who just shot over 42% from deep with the Kings last year. He doesn't need the ball, doesn't force shots. He just spaces the floor and makes winning plays. And now, playing next to Luka and LeBron, he's going to get even cleaner looks, especially from the corners, where he hit 45.5% of his wide-open threes. Meanwhile, the Lakers also acquired the rights to Adu Tiero, a 6'8" athletic freak out of Arkansas. He's raw, his shot is a work in progress, but he plays hard, crashing the glass, running the floor, and defending with energy. He's likely G League bound this year, but the upside is real. The Lakers didn't. These aren't splashy moves, they're smart ones. And that's what separates failed experiments from real contenders. LeBron James is entering year 23. Let that sink in. At 40 years old, he's still putting up 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game. Still All-NBA. Still the smartest player on the floor. But the decline is coming. Not in dramatic ways, but in the margins. The transition bursts? A little slower. The takeover stretches? A little shorter. He's still a force, but not the force. And that's okay, because for the first time since joining LA, LeBron doesn't have to carry everything. Luka is here. The load is lighter. The expectations more manageable. But the playoffs? That's a different beast. 4 series, 7 games each, no nights off, no hiding. And if the Lakers are going to make a run, they still need that LeBron for at least 30 minutes a night. Can he do it? History says yes. But Father Time never loses. Here's the brutal truth. The West is a gauntlet. The Oklahoma City Thunder just won a title, and they're only getting better. Houston added depth and star power. Denver still has Jokic, and they've quietly retooled. Even the Clippers, in full reset mode, are younger, faster, and more athletic. Last year, the Lakers were in that second tier, dangerous but not elite. Now, they're right on the edge, with Luka in shape. LeBron rested, Smart anchoring the perimeter, Ayton plugging the paint, and LaRavia spacing the floor. This team has the tools to beat anyone, but that's not enough. The real question is, can they do it together? The Lakers are rolling the dice on Luka's transformation, on LeBron's longevity, on Ayton's effort, Smart's health, LaRavia's shooting, Thero's potential. This is either the start of a bold new era in Los Angeles or the final gasp of a fading dynasty. They're not the favorites, but they're dangerous, talented, and for the first time in years, deep. If everything clicks, they're in the mix. If it doesn't, another early exit, and even bigger questions. But one thing's certain, no one's sleeping on the Lakers anymore. So what do you think? Are the Lakers legit contenders? Or is this just another flashy offseason that won't mean anything when April comes around? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We're just getting started.